Welcome, welcome, welcome. And the lighting needs to come in a little bit more. Perfect. Okay, got it down. Welcome, welcome, welcome with Tea Time with Kitty. Okay, is it staying down? Okay. So do we have Donald in? Okay, so this is working out great. This is working out great. So we're just letting some of the viewers get logged in. And then I'm going to introduce my two youth that will be co-hosted with me today. Um, so hello to each and every one of you on my cell phone. Okay, got it here. And you sent me the messages, right? That we're going over, Donald. Are you okay? Okay, hey Shamika. So everyone's getting chimed in. Okay. Um, so welcome, welcome, welcome to Tea Time with Kitty. Today, co-hosted with me will be Jordyn Brown and Donald Harris. So while we're waiting for others to join on at this time, Jordyn, let's tell them a little bit about yourself.
Okay, well, I'm 17.
Okay.
I attend Benjamin Banneker, which is the top school in DC.
Okay.
I'm a senior this year. It's really not a lot about me. I've been cheering for 10 years.
And what a cheer team? I know you've been with several, but what cheer team are you with now?
I cheer for my high school team now.
Hey,
but
sis.
when I went last year, when I was cheering for All Star, the last team I was with was Power.
Okay. And Mr. Harris, let's tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm currently 19. Graduated from Sula High School right now. What I'm working two jobs. I currently work at UPS, and I'm an aide for my grandmother. So what I'm doing right now is just really trying to better myself and see any opportunities out there for me, and just all around just been working and just been putting in the work and just grinding every day.
Okay, and I didn't have a chance to get my text sent out. I normally do my tea time reminder of the Six Flags, and I'm actually going to let them come in a little bit more, and I'm going to step out a little bit more because I really want them to have a chance to express themselves as teenagers living in the DMV. So for any reason, Donald and Jordyn, that you can't see yourself when I step away, just make sure that you bring the camera in because I'm going to be behind you all because this is your show and you all are our youth. You are our future for tomorrow. So I really want to hear from you. So parents, I'm hoping that you have your teenage child or family member near you. Hey, Sanaya, I hope that you have them in their reach because a lot of the questions and the conversations today will be for youth. And we need to know what's going on with our youth. A lot of times we're older, we're a little bit out of touch, and we think we have the answer, but it seems that we just don't have the answer. So we're going to talk about the Six Flags video, and then we're going to go in a little bit deeper about why do we think our youth are dealing with what they're dealing with today. So I'm going to step out so Donna could come in a little closer. So Donna, you can come in closer. You can take the other chair, and then we're going to get started with the questions. Okay, are you two able to see yourself good on here?
Yep.
Okay, so the first thing that I want to ask some of the persons on here today, and Jordyn, if you could ask them for me, have they had a chance to see the Six Flags video that went viral? Was it about a week ago? Have you had a chance to see that video? Okay.
Oh, Shamika showed me.
Okay, great. Okay, so you all had a chance. So if you all
Hey,
can ask the
Mommy.
audience, have they had a chance to see that video as well?
Have any of you been able to see the Six Flags video that's recently went viral on the news, like Fox 5?
Yeah, it was about a week ago. I think it was a Saturday night at Six Flags. It was very chaotic. For me, I was actually there, so it was just very chaotic and out of control. So
okay, so we're gonna talk about that. Now Donald and Jordyn, I do want you all to be mindful that you may see responses come in. If you see them coming in and you have the answer to it, and you want to answer something that you see here in the chat, feel free to answer what you see coming in from them as well. Okay. So the first question is, what do you think about? We're going to start with Jordyn. What do you think about that video? Like, how do you think that video could have been prevented? Let's just start there. What do you think about that video?
Well, first, I feel like people usually come to Six Flags to like fight and stuff because it's like an open space.
Wow.
And well, it's like everybody in the DMV is trying to go there, and people been beefing over quarantine and stuff like that. So when they finally see each other, I feel like that's their time to go pop off or whatever they want to do.
Oh my God. So Six Flags is a common spot.
But
okay.
It's so embarrassing because it's kind of like they shutting down like they were shutting it down early, and now people got to be 21 and over. Like you have to have an adult, which like it's
something
just
happened like that at the Dave and is that Dave and
yeah,
Buster's
somebody
at the
got
Boulevard?
somebody
Okay,
got killed
okay,
outside.
okay. And Donna, what is your take? Donna, you were actually at Six Flags when this went on. So what was your experience like on that day?
Well, so that day, me and Shamika obviously went there to just have a good time. So it's literally as soon as we got out the lift, we had to leave. We had to leave as soon as we got out there because.
So how was that? Because you had to pay how much for those tickets?
The tickets was in total $42, but they was each around like 19, I think.
Okay. So that means that you had to spend money on a lift going there, a lift coming back, and for tickets for them to tell you that you had to
just leave as soon as I came.
Oh, wow.
And I was just trying to figure out what was going on, and I asked some of the bystanders. They was like, "You had to leave. It was a fight," and I just saw all these people, and I was like, "That's crazy," because it's like you literally just come there to just have a good time. You don't literally have to expect anything, but when you're at Six Flags, you should expect anything because it's always drama there. Six Flags is known for having that type of chaos, and after the place closed down, it was like 7 fights in about 4 minutes.
So being a teen in the DMV, DC, Maryland, and Virginia, how does that make one feel? Like, what is it to do for fun? And I'm going to start with you, Jordyn. What are some things that you can do for fun that's even safe anymore? Like, I've seen incidents at Chris's skating rings, Dave and Buster's.
I feel like it's a limited amount of things only because everywhere you go, it's always people that's checking their surroundings, but it's always people there that's coming for drama. Like even at Dave and Buster's, people go there to fight. Like I feel like the only real time that it could be safe and fun is in your home, because like being outside is too dangerous at this point. People are getting killed every day, no matter where you are. It's just a lot going on. Trying to hang out with friends, like your friends have beef with people, and then sooner or later you're gonna have to help them fight. They get jumped and stuff like that. So it's really difficult to tell where you can and can't go. Like it's just you gotta find it at the right time. You gotta go when nobody else is there. But like everybody there at some point, like you can't even go to Pentagon no more without it being outside.
And I know one thing that Shamika said to me that was so heartbreaking when I talked to them after leaving Six Flags is that a little girl was on the phone. So I'm talking to mothers right here, right now. I'm talking to mothers. Shamika said that the girl called her mom and was like, "Mom, they jumping me again." So again means a second time or a third, like it means more than once. So did she mean that they had jumped her prior in life, or did they jump her at Six Flags earlier and then jumped her again? So I want to hear from the parents on the line, the moms and the dads. What would that feel like, getting a call from your child and you're at work or you're at the grocery store and you just can't put hands on them the next 3 to 5 minutes, and just to hear your child crying on the phone while they are being jumped? This is for the parents. What does that look like to you all? How would that make you feel, getting such a traumatic call from your child who is in harm's way? And as a parent, our goal is to protect the child, and there's nothing that we can do at that time. I want to hear a little bit from the parents. What does that feel like, you to experience that?
My mom said, "Girl, it's nerve-wracking. I would go crazy."
Somebody had Yanni had responded to somebody. I think it was.
Oh, they was talking about gallery. Yeah. They said, "Remember how gallery place used to be when we were in high school?" And it was like, yes, but at least it was free back then. And then they said, "I would be ready to harm as well."
Right. Because being a parent, you want to go up there and help everybody. Okay, so we have some questions from the guests that's on today, and I'm going to run the first one past you. The question number 1 is, what do you think? Okay, we did that one. I'm sorry. Go down to number 2. Question number 2, what kind of character trait do you look for in friends? So we want to know, what do you look for when you pick your friends? What makes you not want to hang out with certain children? You can go first. Don't worry about
it. Okay. So when it comes to like character traits, I really look for people that's, for one, loyal, and then people who care about like their dreams and aspirations and care about mine as well. So even if we're trying to focus on them, like if I'm focusing on them, they would focus back on me, which leads back into the loyalty thing. Like those are my 2 biggest ones. But I kind of feel like it's hard to find those kind of friends at the moment, because I feel like everybody's trying to do their own thing, which is fine, but then they forget about everybody else that was there for them when they were first trying to come up and stuff like that. But those are the main people I really look for.
Okay, okay. And what makes you not hang out with certain children? Like what would be something that you see in a child and make you not want to hang out with them?
People who walk around with drama. People that's getting people that gets into a lot of drama. People who don't have like a career goal. People who just going outside and just hanging around the crowd. People who just want to fight all the time.
Right, stay away from those.
Yeah.
Because there's no reason to teach your child how to fight anymore, because whether they can fight or not, most kids have weapons. So now the question goes to you. What kind of character traits do you look for in friends? And parents, I hope that you're jotting some of this down, because this would be nice when your child need a few dollars. Aside from allowing them to earn it with chores, you can allow them to earn it with critical thinking. Like, what kind of character traits do you look for in friends, Donald?
Well, for me, since when I'm looking for friends, I'm much older now, so friends are coming hard to find. But
Right.
what I look for friends, I just look for somebody that I know I can trust.
Okay.
Trust is so important in a friendship, because you never know, he can be your friend next woman, and then he'll be your enemy the next one. So trust is always important to me. And second, I look for somebody that wants to win just as much as me.
Oh, so you're looking for winners, and then if they're not winning, then you know that's not who you want to be. Okay.
At the end of the day, even though we're friends, but I want to win, and I want my friend to help me to win too.
Okay,
and
okay.
With friends,
Somebody's...
it's always just what's somebody?
I like drama.
Oh, somebody said they like drama.
Poogie, you always like drama.
So, Donald, tell me something that you would see in a young person that would make you not want to interact with them.
Loyalty.
I'm sorry, let me say it again. Something that you would see in a child to make you not want to hang out with them.
Okay, so it's been a lot of kids lately, especially when I go over the basketball court. I see a lot of young kids anyway, and I mostly play with them. So if they just there for the drama, like she said, just for drama. If I see drama, I'm not going to
indulge in it. Okay,
because if you just there for drama, you wasting my time.
Exactly.
I'm not there for drama.
Okay.
And especially when I have young friends, especially young men that's young friends, especially like 13, 12.
Right.
If I hang out with you, I'm here to help you grow.
Okay.
I don't want you, if you have drama, you probably just going to use me as a crutch to help you fulfill something that you got planned for somebody else out there.
Okay.
And so when I just see drama, I just ignore it, because at the end of the day, I'm not here for drama. I'm just here to do what I gotta do.
Makes sense. How do you overcome peer pressure?
So for one, in the state of mind that I'm in right now, I feel like I'm very vulnerable.
Okay.
But I know that a lot of times I stop and think before I try to act, and think, like my mom always tells me, she's like, if you think I'm gonna get mad at it and you think I'm gonna yell at you when you do it, then don't do it. And
okay, I like that. I like that.
I like that. Yell at me, I'm just not gonna do it at this
right. Point. Okay. And so it sounds like you have a lot of respect for your mom, and I think that that's most important with the way we make decisions, how our relationships are with our parents. Okay. So Donald, how do you overcome peer pressure?
Well, peer pressure is all in the mind to me.
Okay.
Having a strong mind is so important.
A strong mind. Okay, so you like to say that you have a strong mind.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
It's always something that's coming, especially at work, because I'm always pressured to just do everything. And when
it can get overwhelming.
Yeah, it can get overwhelming. So it's all about how I deal with it. I just tend to take a deep breath and just cool, because I don't want to overdo everything and exert myself.
I definitely don't.
I just try to just take everything one step at a time when I'm dealing with peer pressure. I tend not to worry about it so much, because if you worry about it so much, it's going to eventually take a hold on you, just make you want to just not even do it no more. So just, to me, peer pressure is all about how you have that mindset going into it.
So next I'm going to ask you about two movies. The first movie, it may be too far back, but I don't know, sometimes you all like older movies. The first movie is Juice. Are either one of you familiar with the movie Juice?
What's that, O.J. Simpson or something?
It's a movie.
I got mental issues, so I'm not good at listening to it.
The movie is called Juice, and who was in the movie? Tupac?
I never seen it.
Never heard
Yeah.
Juice? Okay, so I'm gonna take that question off. What about the show Power? Did any of you watch
I
it?
didn't watch it.
You didn't watch Power? Okay, so we're gonna ask Donald this question then, okay? So in the scene on Power, it was a show. You familiar with Tariq?
Mhm.
Okay, go son. Okay. And in that show, there was a situation where Raina knew about a situation with her brother, which it actually led to Raina getting killed, right? How do you think that that situation could have been handled a little different? Like, what do you think another way that it could have been handled with Raina and Tariq and the police officer?
Well, one, I think it should have been handled with Raina going to Tariq. I feel as though Tariq. Let me make sure I got this clear because that was a lot of episodes back.
Right. Okay.
Let me
Okay.
make sure I got rekindled that. But I think it should have been handled with Raina going to Tariq. If she would already knew what Tariq was doing, I feel as
Instead
though,
of being out in the open.
Exactly.
So what do you think that what do you think like as far as the parents? Should Raina have went to Ghost or Tasha?
I feel as though with Raina, it was just different because everybody was so divided, even with Ghost. He didn't want Tariq being in the streets, and I think she was, and then with the mother, they wanted Tariq to be a scholar.
Right,
But
right.
Tariq he was trying to fill the shoes that Ghost really had as a young kid, and I think that's what made him so divided. I feel as though Raina should have went to the parents first to just make sure that they had everything jotted down and come together because I feel as though that's what was missing during that time because Tariq was doing his own thing. And I think Ghost and them really wasn't paying attention to him because they really just said, look, I just want you to be a scholar.
Right.
But Tariq was just doing his own thing.
Well,
So
somebody said she should have shut up and not said nothing to him
Who said
herself. Jaquia Edwards. So she said minding her business and not approach Ray Ray. And then Yanni said Tasha and Ghost were horrible parents, by the way.
Okay. What can parents do? Now I'm asking you all right here, and Donald, I am just being totally open, and my sister is being totally open with you. What can parents do to be better parents of teenagers? Like, what could we do a little better? Because even with down to the behaviors, we talked about peer pressure and we talked about kids being influenced by their parents, by their peers. But we also talked about you when you said that when my mom said, if I'm gonna yell about it or get upset about it, then you don't do it. So that means that your mom is able to have an influence in your life to make you second guess. So what if a child does or does not have that? Does in any way, does that do you think that has anything to do with why some of the children act the way that they act, or you feel like it has nothing to do with the parents at all? Because we're going to be talking to parents soon, so we want to know from you all right now at your age, do you feel like parents have some influence over the behavior of their children?
I feel like they do have influence, and I kind of feel like sometimes you know how they be like babies watch everything you do, so watch what you do around them. Even as teenagers, we still overanalyze a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So us watching you do certain things, it's gonna make us either try it out or know in the back of our head, well, if my parent can do it, I mean, I can do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you do feel that children are affected by parents not presenting good behavior or being a good role model, meaning like, so basically parents need to watch what they say and do, because from little children on up to teenagers, you feel that kids sometimes notice their parents' behavior and mimic their behavior. So Donna, do you feel the same with that? Do you think that parents, because some of these kids at Six Flags, they were damaging cars of people that did nothing at all to them. So I didn't had a day at Six Flags with my kids. I done spent my money. I done bought Nala and Yari everything they wanted, and to come outside to my whole back window being smashed, and I didn't do anything to anybody. Do you feel like parents have some control over the way youth are acting now?
I think I do, because if you think about the video, most of the kids is only 13, 14 years old.
Oh, okay.
And I think it's because the younger generation, I think it's within the household that some parents are just not they're being too edgy on teenagers. When you hit the teenage years, teenagers are more diverse because they feel as though they get older and they get more arrogant. I say a little bit too cocky, but that's how teenagers are, because you get into your teenage young adult years.
Okay.
I feel as though teenagers just lash out because of what's going on in the household. I feel as though parents should just be more settle and balance. I think balance is key.
Balance. Oh, okay. Balance. I like balance. So not overly parenting, but not underly parenting, because we hear people talk about it all the time, and I know underly parenting is not a word, but we're going to keep that word. But people talk about overprotected parents, but what about parents who are underprotected? Because I mean, I've witnessed this in my own life where if somebody see a 2-year-old with a pacifier, they'll take the pacifier from the 2-year-old and tell them, you don't need this, you too big. But then they'll roll up they blunt and smoke it in front of the 2-year-old. So I'm trying to figure out, where do you go? How do you make a decision between the two of those things?
Because it like I said, it needs to be balanced. You shouldn't be overprotective, but you shouldn't just be so carefree about your teens too. And I think it's just a little balance type of, you have to have the balance, because you have to be disciplined on them, be strict on them, but you gotta give them a little more freedom.
Okay.
I gotta build on that, because it's kind of like overprotective parents are cool, but if you think about it, they can't protect you from everything. I feel like
that's what I had to learn. Okay.
Overprotective parents do, like, especially like for me, being honest and stuff. Like, I feel like even as a senior and stuff like that, like I don't have certain privileges as people that's younger than me, and like I really like I can go out sometimes, but I feel like I'm on lockdown a lot of the times. And so I'm not being funny, I'm being serious. I feel like I'm on lockdown sometimes. But I feel where my mom's coming from, because the city is
the fear. It's the fear. That's all it is. Because we don't like y'all as much as y'all think we like y'all. We don't really like y'all. We want y'all to leave outside at 7 a.m. and not let y'all back in till 11 at night. Right. But it's the fear. We want the house to ourselves sometimes too, and walk around naked eating y'all cereal. But
you got that
it's you're so fearful out here and that's why I asked you all that question at the beginning. Is it any more fun, anything fun to do anymore now that everything is just like anything can happen anywhere? Like, is it any fun with doing anything anymore?
I believe it is, because you just have to have fun with the right people.
Okay. And knowing when,
and knowing when to have fun. Like, you know how I go. I will go Saturdays and Sundays just to play some basketball with my friends, game being all that, because we pick the right place and the right times to go and to have that. I think it's all about having a time and just having fun with people that you know, because it's hard to have fun, like you said.
Right, because you don't want to be with no high-headed person. Exactly. Like meaning like, hey, I can fight, but every time we go to Walmart, I don't want Camille punching somebody and then we got to fight and then we both going to jail and our clearance being checked. So you got to know, like, sometimes you got to leave high-headed people at home.
He
said, I believe the new generation of children or teenagers have no respect for themselves, let alone others. Right. Oh, and the consequences, I don't agree with that. And the consequences seem to be too unreal to them, like nothing can happen to them. So the reason why I very much disagree with this, like, I feel like when y'all say, what he say?
That generation.
First of all, when they said that generation.
You better go ahead. You better go with the same thing. You better go ahead. I just had a conversation with somebody about this yesterday.
And then,
it's just more exposed.
Yeah, it's more exposed for now because we're on social media and stuff. And then at the same time, we say, oh, we don't think about the consequences. We think about the consequences every day. We live the consequences. Our friends dying every day. So when they're like, experience the gun violence and all that, I don't think that's true at all. Like, having no respect for ourselves. Y'all think we have no respect for ourselves because y'all not doing the same thing as us. Our respect for ourselves may be different than the respect that y'all have for yourselves. So it's not fair to say that this generation don't have no respect
because my comeback to that, because I'm all pro-teen, even though I'm scared of y'all, but I'm all for teens, right? But the thing that I will say is, who raised the generation? And I think that's what stuck out with me so much, because when I was coming up, my mom always said, these kids today. So, and I didn't, and I was rebellious, so I wasn't hearing that. But then to become older and hear my peers now say, these kids today, and then I get to looking and I was like, well, I ain't never seen Greater Southeast Washington Hospital Center, GW, Columbia Hospital for Women, or the Catholic Hospital of Silver Spring. I ain't never seen them release babies to babies. Right. I've only seen kids be released to parents. So parents get a chance at this. Yeah. So I think parents need to do better. So what I would say is, I have 2 teens. Still teens, 19. I have 2 teens that I'm with Samante, as cute as they are, and as much as I love them, there's no way in the world I would send them to Six Flags with 5 to 10 other kids. That would have been them on top of that car kicking their glass in, because I know what I have. So I think that parents need to understand what they have and identify and understand that, hey, this child of mine doesn't always make the right decisions and makes the right choices. So I'm going to either go with them or they're not going to go, as opposed to making me pay for your kids that you didn't want to be bothered with, because now I can't pay for my window because you and your child, for whatever reasons. Okay, so let me get to the next question. Okay.
So something Yanni said that stood out. She said this generation was raised by the old generation.
Exactly, and we're going to get into that a little bit more when I talk to the parents. Okay.
Cookie said, "Moo don't come here."
Okay, so why do you all think teens and adults are so disconnected today? And we're going to start with you, Jordyn. I'm sorry. Why are teens so disconnected from adults?
I feel like it starts with the whole new generation, old generation thing. Because
okay, separation, division. You better go ahead. Okay.
I kind of feel like when it comes to that, parents always try to compare how their life was when they were growing up. So then they try to raise us how they were raised, and so it always finds a disconnection somewhere because it's kind of like it's being raised that way isn't going to help me in the new generation that y'all say we're in. Because if you're raising me like it's a different thing to try to be raising your child with respect for adults, but then busting them in the back of their head like how y'all was in the old generation is very different. That's what a disconnection is, in my opinion. Trying to raise us like how the old generation was.
So we need to get a little bit more high tech. So we need to come up. Okay. So I'll take that. I'll receive that. Okay. Donald?
I feel as though when I always say this, you have to change. The change is so important because as the world changes, you have to change with
the world. Okay, so we need to evolve. Okay.
I say having an open mind is so important because if you stay in your old ways, you're gonna raise them just like you would your average teenagers. Like teenagers now are so different from teenagers back then. They have so much more new stuff. Everything is new, and they're getting everything to them. So you have to raise them as this generation is. You can't raise them the old generation because they gonna revolt.
And that's good. No, I was gonna add when he said something. I forgot what he said, but it made something come to my mind. Nowadays, people at school are judged by what they wear, what they have, what kind of shoes they're wearing. They got name brands and all that. And parents at home will say things like, "It don't matter if you don't got no name brands." But then when the kids telling them, "Oh, I'm depressed," I'm like, "Well, what are you depressed for? Being bullied at school,
right?
Because they're not. They
I hear you.
Back then,
I hear you.
It didn't matter, and it matters.
It mattered back then. It mattered back then. It definitely mattered back then. It may not have been something for us, probably the max was $200, but I think now they got tennis shoes that y'all can get for $500 and $600. So it has probably the value of things probably have increased, but it was definitely the same scenario. Just as well as I knew when I was coming up at Johnson, I knew plenty young girls like myself that could come to a house party and drop it way to the floor. But just now that if your daughter go to a house party and wear half a shirt and drop it to the floor, it's going to be on social media. So it's a little bit more embarrassing under that situation.
Social media has a part to do with the new generation too. Everything that's happening, any fights, anything that happened, it goes smack to social media in a couple of milliseconds.
Okay, so we're okay.
With this generation, technology is so consuming now with the new generation too as well, and I feel as though that's what this generation had that this older generation did.
So would it be more appropriate to say next generation? Would you all like to hear older people say next generation instead of old and new? Because you all are next generation, right?
Yeah, but it's people that's coming after us.
Exactly.
That's why we can't say next.
So not next. Okay, so what would be a better term for us older people or adults to use instead of saying back in our days and that?
Well, I feel like saying it doesn't really matter, but acting as if you're in the old generation.
Okay, so you don't have an issue with the language, it's the behavior behind the language. Okay. What is your advice for preteens entering into their teen years? So like if you could you can't go back to your old you, but you have a little sister, but she's in her teenage years, your sisters are in their teenage years. But if you had a little cousin going into their teenage years, what would you tell them with where you are today?
I just say put in the hard work. I feel as though just working on yourself is so important, especially when you're a teenager, because you need to figure out the why. The why are you here, and you need to figure out you first. And that's why so many teenagers fall because they don't.
Go ahead. I
always say that because it's
Junior Deacon. Okay.
But I'm for real. Like when you get into your teenage years, your foundation is you. Remember, this is your life now.
So regardless of what you may have went through or agree or disagree with your parents, you feel like at some point you have to be accountable. Okay.
Yeah, what starts with you?
I kind of feel like, well, for one, just like Donna was saying, you have to find yourself because that's really important. Because if you don't find yourself and you go worrying about friends, especially in high school, if you go and find your friends in high school and don't find yourself first, then it'll lead into other peer pressure things. Like it'll lead you to do certain things that you know you normally wouldn't do if you knew yourself. So I feel like that's really what he said was the most important thing, honestly, like going into your teenage years, just learning about yourself, learning what you like and what you don't like.
Oh my gosh, Tea Time is so thankful and happy to have you all here today. Next week, this segment will continue. We will be talking to parents and to get their insight on it, their feelings with parents and teenagers. And I know in times some of us sit back and be like, we had no problem, so we think we got the parenting thing all down, and then here come the younger child with all these issues and all these things. So parent a manager teenager. But what does that look like when it's a teenager that is not that easy to manage? So without further ado, at this time, if there's anyone out there, I know Dayon's in the audience, I know Nathaniel's in the audience, I know that there's some people that told me a week ago that they were into investing. So if you all have a cash app and if parents would just find it in their heart, because it took a lot for me to get him today, and I'm gonna get him a meal, but I ain't got much to get him because y'all know I'm still playing the Powerball and the Mega Million. But I'm gonna ask that they share their cash app with you, and if you all found anything from this show, and remind you, this is a young man just reaching out of college, finding himself. This is a young woman who's getting ready for prom and graduation. If you can find it in your cash app, it could be $1. You just thank you for the message in $1. It could be $5. You know, whatever you can send. I'm so glad Cash App don't let y'all send change. But if you can find it, I'm going to let them give you their Cash App. Grab a pen. If you don't go looking for no pen just so you ain't got to send it, because if you open up the notes in your cell phone, and I know you got it, you can put their Cash App right in your cell phone. Send them something and bless them, because we're always looking down on negative teens in our community. However, there's so many teens doing the right thing at the right time, and we overlook them. The quieter ones don't always get seen in the knowledge. So I'm going to go to Jordyn first. Jordyn, do you have a Cash App that you can send to this share with them right now?
I do not, but my mom has a Cash App.
Okay, so give us your moms, and I'm going to Cash App your moms. I'm going to start it off right now as we get started. Let me just get into my Cash App.
No, you might have to say your first. Mommy, say your Cash App. I don't know your Cash App.
Let me find hers for you. So, Donald, go ahead and say yours while I find your mother's.
I'm gonna put mine in the comments right here.
Okay, you know how to put it in there?
Yeah, I know how to put it in there.
Okay, go ahead and put it in there.
I'm gonna clown you if it's bad.
And I just want to say thank you.
It's Mika 71980.
So just Mika, MEKA
719.
Okay, she automatically came up.
My aunt said I'm gonna still beat you when you need it though.
Oh. Okay, let me make sure I got Jordyn name spelled right, because I'm always putting moo. Okay, Donna, what's your Cash App so I can send yours right now as well? Because these kids are coming from work and school, and they took the time to join in on the show, and it's not easy. Some adults are not into getting in front of a camera speaking, so I just want to bless them. So Donald typed this in, but if you could say your moms again, and any little blessing will help. You don't have to send them your mortgage or your rent, because we know your rent was due yesterday and your mortgage due on the 15th, but just send what you can send, because it's not easy for kids to get on here and do this, and we want to have them back again. So maybe if we could bless them in a way that we can have them back again. What's yours, Donald? Just say it right on now. Is yours Trap Star Poppy? Yeah. Okay. And we just want to say thank you. We just want to say thank you for your visit on Tea Time. And you never know, one day Tea Time may get really rich and we may not need you all to send in these sponsors. But for right now, if you can find it in, I'm waiting for Nathaniel and Dayon. I know that y'all are going to bless them. $2, $3, whatever you have balance in your Cash App, send it right on over. And as always, I want to say thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you all my faithful listeners for having a sip of tea. And we're just looking at things in the teenage life, because we're always judging and thinking we have the answer. But I just wanted to hear from our teens. So thank you so much. Thank you for sipping with a sister. Those names are in the chat. find $2 or $3, borrow it from somebody, and send it right on over to them. And we thank you so much. Okay, did you end the last ring? I didn't know.
Oh,
Okay.
bye guys.
Thank